What's up, family? It's Coach Dev. Y'all know when y'all see this face is about getting some money. Let's get it. Now, today, we're talking about trade lines, primary accounts versus authorized user accounts, right? So let's get into it. First, what is an authorized user? People call these trade lines, they're known as AUs, right? We have a lot of different names for them, but what an AU is an authorized user. Somebody is placing you onto their card as an authorized user. When someone places you on their card as an authorized user, what happens is you hijack all of their credit history, you hijack their utilization, you hijack their history, how long that they've had this card. You're going to hijack essentially their entire credit profile, right? Now, all of that sounds good and dandy, but the problem with that is it's not your card. Even though it's reflecting on your report, it's not in your name. And banks recognize this. Banks recognize when you have a bunch of trade lines, or if you're placed on authorized accounts, like they can see all of this, right? And it doesn't hold the same weight as a primary. So a primary is more like a card that's in your name. An example of that would be like a student loan, or a mortgage, or an auto loan, something like that that holds weight. People want to see things that are in your name and that you're paying for on time. When banks see a list of accounts, primarily between anywhere from about 7 to about 15 accounts that report as primaries, cards that are in your name, reflecting in your name. So cards that are reflective of your spending, right? Things that are reflective of what's in your name. So now that we understand the difference between the two, authorized user or primary account, now we need to know how to utilize them. Now, like I said, people have been using authorized accounts for years to kind of hijack someone else's profile, to kind of finesse the banks into thinking that your profile looks a lot better or is a lot thicker than it actually is. So now that we understand the difference between a primary account or an authorized user account, now we need to start using it to put us in a position that we want to be in the next couple of years. So as I mentioned before, an authorized user, we're basically hijacking everything. We're hijacking their payment history, we're hijacking their utilization, and we're hijacking their on-time payments. But the problem is banks recognize that, right? They don't want to see a ton of like AU accounts on your profile, or a ton of credit builder accounts on your credit profile, right? We spoke about profile versus score. And if you guys don't know the difference, you guys can just go back to one of my earlier videos. But we speak about the difference. So today I want you guys to understand how we strengthen our profile, which then reflects on our score, which then dictates if we're going to be eligible for funding or not, and kind of let us know in the ballpark of how much we'll be getting, right? It's always best to try to add as many primary accounts onto your credit profile as possible. Typically, when we're looking for funding, we tell our clients that we need anywhere between about 8 to about 15 accounts. Now, those are going to consist of, yes, trade lines, AU accounts, secured loans, things of that nature, right? We just want to strengthen someone's profile to show to the banks, hey, this person is responsible. This person has this primary, this primary, this primary. Remember, cards, items that's in their name that they've been paying on time for X amount of time. That's all credit is, right? So once we understand that, we want to try to lace our profile up with more primary accounts opposed to authorized user accounts. So one quick hack for today, which is going to be super affordable. You can use these 3 credit builder accounts, right? Number 1 is Green. Now, I'm going to tell you guys exactly what Green does, but I want to tell you guys more in depth from the actual site, right? So number 1, Green, it gives you a line of credit based off of your checking account, right? So anybody who knows, like, a line of credit means this is money that you can actually like access and spend. So Green just reports to the credit bureaus the money that you have in your account that you're spending, how you're spending it, and how you're using it. Because what you're doing is you're establishing an on-time payment history, right? Because like I said, when we're hijacking people as jumping on their accounts as authorized users, banks know that this isn't really our report, right? They know that these aren't bills that you're paying for. So what you want to do is you want to start establishing primaries that's on-time payments. So you can utilize something like Grain, which is GRAIN, and you can see it right here, to start establishing that. Because it gives you a line of credit based on your actual checking account. Number two is the extra card. The thing that I like about the extra card is the extra card is like a debit card that reports to all three credit bureaus. So like everything that you're doing positively, all the things that you're paying on throughout the month on time, it just reflects and reports to all three credit bureaus. So if you're not utilizing this tool and you're someone who's responsible, who's paying your bills on time every single month, you're kind of not taking advantage of it, right? And the accounts that I'm giving you guys today versus the actual trade lines is all in an attempt to help save you guys some money, because you know that the average trade line cost is anywhere between $1,500 to about $2,000, right? I'm trying to save you guys $1,500 to about $2,000, because all you're doing when we're picking these AUs and placing them on, all we're looking for is to try to build some history, right? All we're trying to do is kind of finesse the system to make it look like, hey, we've been paying on-time bills for longer than we have. That's it. So if at the end of the day, all we're trying to do is add some history and some on-time payments, we don't have to go out here and pay somebody $1,500 just to get placed onto their card to reflect on-time payments. We can utilize these tools, which are super affordable, that's going to do the same thing. So like I said, just utilizing a simple hack like the extra card to just reflect on-time payments all month, this is going to build your history, family. And number three, like I said, is the Zorro card, which I like because it reports as a primary trade line, but kind of acts as a debit card. So what I mean by that is it has a debit card style, meaning it's reflecting off of what you have on it, but it's still sending out the positive payments to the credit bureaus. I hope that makes sense to you guys. So today was just very brief about 3 different options that you guys can just start utilizing to get away from those trade lines, guys. Trade lines can become very expensive, and the part about trade lines that I don't like is it's fake, right? We're in the credit space to actually help people and fix their credit and put them in better positions. The best way to do that is by utilizing these 3 apps, which will then start creating a payment history and start establishing credit over in a lengthy time to show to bankers that you are responsible and that you've been paying things on time, right? We don't want to continue to try to finesse the system by getting placed onto authorized user accounts, which will only be reflective for about 30 to about 60 or 90 days max, and then we're taken off of there, and then our score goes back, and then we're still stuck in that same situation. So today, these tools that I gave you guys are real tools that will help move you in the right direction of actually repaying your credit, but not just repairing your credit, building payment history, building a strong credit profile that's reflective of you making on-time payments that are actually in your name because they're reporting as primary accounts. So listen, my name is Coach Dev. So look, if you need help with any of these things, go ahead, hit the link below, book a call, and either myself or someone from my team will gladly answer and help give you all of the resources that you need. So look, I love you guys, and I will see you on the other side of execution. Let's go, family.